Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. The game I always forget about along with Advanced Warfare and blur together in my memory. But if there's one thing I remember most from Infinite, is its story. It always stuck with me. A story of brotherhood and sacrifice where not everyone gets a happy ending, and one of the brothers is a robot. Remember Ethan? You should. He's amazing and I love him. The bond Ethan and Reyes has throughout the game is amazing, but there's always been one thing that has bugged me. One scene that always felt off. One that muddled the tone in my opinion. You may remember it. It's the scene everyone had an issue with on launch. If you haven't guessed it yet, it's the one where they're adrift in space. Now you may think I hate it or such, but as it is, I really enjoy it and it's a good scene. I just think it could be better. Before I get into how I'd personally change it, let's watch the scene together.
Oxygen depleted.
Captain, your suit.
Took a hit in the cockpit. Left arm's torn.
Unsettling report, sir.
Oxygen depleted.
Captain, I can't stop it. What do I do?
Let it go, Ethan.
I can't, sir. You're my commanding officer, Captain. My mission is you.
Oxygen level critical.
Who says?
Oh, I'm hardware, sir. Ultimately expendable.
No. You're my brother, Ethan.
You're talking robot, brother.
Affirmative.
Yes. Well, I am the handsome one, sir.
No doubt.
Oxygen level critical.
Looks like this is the end of the line, partner.
I think I'm scared, sir.
Me too.
Captain, stay with me. Sir. Captain. Captain. Captain.
This is great. The dialogue is thought-provoking and shows two people coming to terms with their end and fits perfectly with the theme of the game. But the scene after, deflates it just a tad. Let's also take a look at it.
Captain, can you hear me? Captain Reyes. He's coming to. There you go, sailor. Open your eyes. This is Tigris Captain Farron.
Heart rate stabilizing. Blood gases and range.
It's Chief Bryant Ling. He's a Tigris Corpsman.
Where's Ethan?
Right here, sir.
You're on a shuttle from my vessel Tigris. I'm taking you back to Retribution.
My ship, my crew.
Retribution's in good hands. Sit him up. She's right out there, in all her guts and glory.
Who contacted you?
Lieutenant Salter. She asked the Admiral for a retrieval team. Under the circumstances, he deemed the recovery too risky.
Raines didn't authorize the rescue.
War has no friends, Reyes. Perhaps my motivations were selfish, but I have no intention of fighting out here alone. I tasked a pilot and 2 spotters, and we set out to your last known location.
How did you account for radial velocity?
Gravitational drag and something we've been lacking. Luck. We had to pry Ethan's arms open. They'd frozen around you. Protecting his captain to the end. Dauntless valor, Ethan.
Boundless terror, Captain.
You are a humble one.
5 seconds to die.
Thanks, Farron. You saved our lives.
We are a fraternity of 2, you and I. 50% attrition rate is not gonna fly. Welcome home, Captain.
Now, one thing you may have noticed. How the hell did Reyes survive with just Ethan clinging to him in space? He should have been long since dead. Lack of oxygen can cause immense damage in a matter of minutes to someone's brain. Even if he had survived, he would have been in no fit duty for service even under the conditions. Now for how I think the scene should have been written, everything is the same up until the depleting of oxygen. Ethan clamps down on Reese's arm to try and slow the leak as much as he can, but it's not enough. Everything stays the same until the "You're my commanding officer." He looks down and then says in a more hushed tone, "There's only one thing I can do." As Reyes starts to say something, in an instant, Ethan twists his arm at the elbow, breaking it. In Reese's screams of agony, Ethan can be heard saying, "You are the mission. I'm sorry, sir, but this will increase chance of survival." Ethan would twist his arm until it was tight enough to stop the oxygen leak, leaving Reyes with about, let's say, 5% oxygen left. At this point, Reyes will be fading in and out of consciousness due to shock and blood loss, so some of what they say can be carried over, but the amount of O2 still starts moving to be depleted before he blacks out. Now, with the scene after, we are gonna have to lean a bit more into the sci-fi-ness of the setting. He'll wake up all the same, but the medic and a new technician will be working to finish implanting Reyes with a prosthetic arm. Almost all of the dialogue here will remain the same except for some added bits about Ethan being ashamed for the action he made even though it did lead to Reyes surviving long enough to be rescued. One point I would make sure Reyes would say to Ethan is, "You made the call." And then Ethan, with his personality, would say, gesturing to Reyes' new robotic limb, "I guess we are oil brothers now." And outside of that, the limb doesn't need to serve that much purpose. Maybe towards the end you can have it be damaged or such, and that's the reason he goes on the mission to the control center since he can't fight effectively or such. But overall, I hope you enjoyed how I would have written this scene, and if you have any thoughts or additions or things you personally would have changed, just let me know down in the comments.